Good afternoon, everyone. We're back again. This time with the new t-shirt. Yes, this is the FLsun that we've been previously stripping down earlier today. And now I'm going to finish it off. We ran out of time to do it all on one stream, so ta-da, part 2. I might try and, after the fact, like, stick them together, but I don't know. Maybe I won't. We shall see. So, yeah. I don't know how much more I'm going to strip down. But I figured I'd just get started. The first thing we need to do is pull the belts down, get the belts off, so we can remove the kind of the tool head. Easiest way is to loosen them, stretch the belt, tighten them, and then the belt will be loose. Then you can take it off. There we go. That's about done. This printer's really, really large. As you can see, I've done quite a bit already. Big labels. I hate big labels in the back of t-shirts. Normally I cut them out, but this one's brand new, so I haven't done that yet. There we go. Belt number 2. No, that's belt number 3. That's all the belts. Why is it called tear down rather than tear up? Why is anything called anything? Who knows? It just is. Is that those? Oh dear. It's those. I've not actually announced the stream anywhere, so this part 2 will probably be a little quieter, but there we go. It is what it is. Oh no, it got stuck to my finger and now I've thrown it away. Where's it gone? Come back. Come back, little screw. Right. 3. Still don't understand why these screws are so tight. None of them have any Loctite, and yet they require a huge amount of force to undo. I mean, they've obviously been done up very tight, but even after releasing that initial crack, it's still... I can't even do this one. There we go. That should just... all 4 screws are out. Should just come off. Hello? Maybe it needs a little bit of... Looks like some kind of gloopy glue they've used to stick it on. Maybe that's got in the threads and that's why the screws are very difficult to undo. So that's our tool head thing. Kind of want to take a closer look at that now. This one is a pretty difficult one, to be honest. Taking apart is never really that difficult. I don't know, this one is quite difficult. Yeah, I don't know really. Difficult to rate in terms of difficulty. So you got die-cast ends here. This is like, maybe we'll come down here. Nope, 3. No, 1. There you can see the die-cast bracket. Even has the little flag here for the optical sensor. This is where the belts grip in. This is where the screws go through and the arms connect. So we got all of those, like a big mess, and then we have to take apart the Hotend extruder assembly. This was quite a fuss. I did do this once because I had to get inside it. This will be a little bit easier. The difficult bit, I think, is knowing which bit to disassemble next, like getting the order of operations correct. Especially when sometimes you don't know where the screws are. You kind of have to hunt for screws and hope you've seen them all. Yes, this is the state of affairs in this. Camera 1. So this is obviously the big cable that's from this Then you've got the USB-C cable coming in here. This, I believe, is the motor. This is the heater. I think this one's the thermistor. This one's a fan. This one's another fan. Maybe I've forgotten what these ones are down this side. There's some other PCB. I think this is the USB for a sensor. In fact, it looks like the USB comes straight from here, so this is directly to that sensor, maybe. Sneaky screw in the back. Even now, I can't remember when I last did it the correct way to disassemble this. I mean, this is just absolutely jammed in here. I don't know. They must make a decision on how big the gap is going to be and then later decide how many cables they actually need. Realise that they don't really fit and just jam them in anyway. I suppose technically they fit because they were all in there. But so that's the big fat cable for the hot end. Maybe you can use this machine to test Kelly Lantern for Delta printers. I've bought me and I think it's great, thank you, but I don't calibrated my Delta. You can calibrate deltas, I think. I don't know if this printer will go back together now that I've torn it apart. It depends how much effort I want to put back into this printer. Because it's all locked down. Oh, if it does go back together, I'll have to make a custom version of it, I think. Which is an amount of work that I'm not sure I'm up to. You see here in the back, I mean, it was the last stream, so you probably wouldn't have been here. Yeah, so this bit here is like two cameras pointing in towards each other. And I think this slot in the middle is where some sort of infrared or lasery sort of beam comes out. And I think that's how they are supposed to do some sort of calibration. I'm not sure if it works. And that's kind of the thing with this, bit of a theme with this printer. They promise a lot, but don't necessarily deliver it. That's not ready to come off yet. We have to do more here first somehow. I don't remember how. I do now. Well, so the thing with deltas is I don't know how. So for shrinkage, which is mainly what we're compensating with Cali Lantern and cauliflower, it's the same regardless of the kinematics. So you can do it for anything on that basis. Because steps per millimeter and that sort of thing should really be done just by calculation. So should be fine using it on a delta with no negative effects necessarily. Necessarily. That's not ready to come out yet. Need to. Oh, it's the sensor that's on some wires. Oh, that's gone flying. Let's try these. Hello, Jose. Oh, come on, we're getting there. I've just, like, how do you even, what the hell? Let's start removing the PCB screws. This one's just about to be shredded, so that's not going to last much longer. Yeah, I mean, the problem with, oh god, we're trying to make this printer better, is that because it's, like, none of these freaking fit. Because this tool head is very custom, it's a lot of work to make it better. Make a new tool head, like, there's a lot of design. Oh, this is... Even though I've done this once before, it still baffles me how ridiculous this process is. Like, what screws have I missed? Why can I not detach this from the plate? No, I don't think it's that. That's just for that. Should be separate, that bit. We just keep removing screws and hope for the best. Still cannot get that top off of there. Oh my god. Oh my god. So this is the tool head PCB. Let's change camera for that. That one's a bit dark. It's not CAN bus or anything, because it's not like a smart tool head, it's just sort of connections to other things. But yep, that's the bit that sticks in the tool head. There's a spring there. Let's get some safety glasses before I ping it in my eyes. I've taken them off in the other room, which always happens. I put them on in that room, go in here, and then take them off, and they will end up in a pile on my desk. Must migrate them back into this room. Yes, the motivation to reassemble is pretty low, I will be honest. I feel like I don't know. I kind of just feel like I've got better things to do. I really like the hardware, I'll be honest. Even though it's a little bit silly, it's a little bit ridiculous. The hardware is quite, I won't say good, but it is quite. The hardware, the Hotend maybe could do a little bit better. But like the frame kinematic system is pretty cool. It's pretty well made. But the whole electronics firmware is just a complete balls up mess. How did it come apart? I've already done it once. What the hell? There is no way. It doesn't, there's no screws. I think maybe the filament was all together. Okay, fair enough. Shall I just... That seems a bit risky, doesn't it? I'll just leave it long. Whoops, it is. So I think if, like, this bit is fine. We need a new design for a new tool head that goes on here. Maybe reuse some of these parts. Like there's, it kind of stresses me out more than it should. For the motivation fund, €5. Thank you very much to Jackal. No, green PCB is fine, really. I mean, yes, obviously we like black PCBs and they look nice and all this kind of stuff. But for a production machine where you don't really see them, I really don't mind. This one's black. But there's just so many things that are unfinished. This is a laser diode for sure. It's the software that's been the biggest problem. I could live with the hardware if the software was perfect. But not even perfect. It doesn't need to be perfect. It just needs to be good and work. It never really worked for me. The most recent version kind of started to work, but like compared to everything else, it's just been a bit of a letdown. I'm not sure which way this clip is clipping. I think it'd be obvious, but apparently it's not. Oh, it's just this cover piece, I think. So this looks like the two little connectors that will connect down to the cameras, which I presume will be positioned quite precisely to be able to do their job. Here we go. What did I put safety glasses back on? The springs are gone. Right. It's too much light. I can't see. I'm blinded. Okay. Forget that one. So this is PCB of laser diode thing. Try and get some pictures. I think it's just like there's too much light, not enough diffusing. One problem of tiny room. What was it JG Aurora? Wasn't that a company? Because this says JG on it. I wonder if this is a third-party design that they've put into their machine. How does this come off? It must be a cover, right? I don't think this is coming out without a bit of breakage. I can't see how I'm going to get this off. The lights are so glary. What if I put this on as well? Is that going to help me? I don't know. I think I can start to see how it fits in, but the clips are like, they're not ones that are designed to ever be undone. They look a little bit permanent. Which is why, as I try and push them open, they're not. Trouble is, I have to be able to open the clip and open. I can't get the pushy down and the undo the clippy at the same time, which is disappointing. I don't know if I always want to be able to do these things without being destructive, because I don't want to damage it. As much as I don't really love the printer very much, I also don't want to break it. Yeah, I think this might be a thing that I cannot undo without breaking it. Mm. Yeah, this has got to be glued in or something. There's no way. Like, I'm managing to definitely get the clips undone, and it's still just stubborn AF. Well, this is the module. It looks like that. You can see those two ribbon cables that stick out. They go down to the two cameras underneath, and then you've got that laser diode module in the middle. And then on the two sides, here and here, these holes, this is where the air comes through for your air ducts, which are here and here. So yeah, that'd be that. I like to get stuff a little bit more disassembled, but I don't think possible on this occasion. Got that PCB module that goes with it. And then the Hotend. The one that can do a so-called 110 millimeters cubed per second. Yeah, right. No, I mean, that was insultingly false. That was like... It either shows a complete lack of respect for community by openly just lying about it, a deliberate attempt to mislead, or a complete ignorance of how 3D printing slices work. None of which I think are particularly good for a company of their size and maturity. I thought this just came... Oh no, there's one more. So this is the bit. I can do my maintenance now. You see, this tape here is tape that I had to put on. Because part of their not very good design is this silicon sock, which goes around this, which has a bunch of red goop just randomly added. And, oh, where is this? I put it in one of these trays right at the start of the last stream, didn't I? No! Ah, crap. Ah, crap. Balls McGee, what have I done with it? Well, they sent me a spare sock because this one just kind of degraded because I don't think the temperature control worked properly or something. Back on the PTFE goes. Teflon tape, whatever it is, you know what I mean. Like the connection for the heater has to be like bent round at this ridiculously extreme angle because there's not enough space for the cables. It's just all round not great really. Just makes me a bit sad. No, I've forgotten which way the cables need to go. Problem for another day. And then we have, excuse me, the extruder. Pretty standard motor. How many gear teeth are on here? 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 teeth. And there's a sort of Bondtech dual drive sort of system clone. The only two screws I can see are these, but they don't look like they're holding it together. Oh, there's a blooming screw right here. There you go. The extruding system. Very Bondtech clone-like. Oh, Jantech here too. Hello. I mean, that's just very much like how the Bondtech ones look. Just a little bit stubbier. Yes, that is that. Where was the other one? Was it down here? Again, didn't pay attention. I should have paid attention to the direction of the motor. That's that bit. If anyone wants a bunch of FLsun S1 parts, let me know. I think I could put it back together if I wanted to. Like, I've done every other printer. The bamboo ones were pretty crazy. Did I only do one? I did the A1 and I done the A1 Mini. I have two X1Cs now, so I could do one of those. But I've got a blooming positron. Like, it's been on my shelf for like 6 weeks and I've just not had the time to do it. 6 weeks? No, it can't be that long. But like, when they were released, I purchased one myself. It's like the only printer I've actually bought myself in years. And I've not had time to do it yet. That's just another USB-C cable. Right. Time to do a silly thing. Another silly thing. It's starting to sag heavily. God, even one of these legs weighs an absolute flipping ton. Oh, Jesus, right. The only thing I have to be careful of is this coming off the end. because I suspect no bearing cage. They don't sound quite right, do they? They're like smothered in lube, but I don't think any of it is inside the bearing. I think this is going to be too heavy for my scales. I don't know if you saw that. My scales scream if you overload them. Oh, right. So this is just one huge Among Us aluminium extrusion. Extrusion? I can't even talk properly. Well, it's an aluminium extrusion plus the linear bearing. Linear bearing? Linear rail. It is actually a black linear rail. Aesthetically nice. I can't tell if it has cages on the bearings or not. If I had a little thing I could slide it onto, that would be nice, but I do not. We can have a closer look at this. Ah, look. This gives me confidence, again, of the hardware team doing stuff right. They've put this line into the extrusion. It's like it's built into it. So that when you put the linear rail on, you can align it to that. And so you get it straight, not just randomly hope for the best. This is just a big plastic block. There's nothing really very special here. Yeah, the software does suck. Whole load of suck ass. Whatever that means. So apart from disassembling the other two legs, I've disassembled at least one of everything, but not the entire thing. Oh, that screw's just... Oh my god. I think that's a wonky screw special, this one. Yep. Screw didn't go in straight, and it just jammed. Hit the torque limit, so it's in. That counts. Oh my god. They just jammed it in the hole. Let's just take everything apart. Got a few more minutes. It's not like it's going to take me 2 days to put this thing back together again. It does make me just kind of sad for the hardware design team. Like the hardware design is really quite good. And then they just effed it up at the last minute. That's why I get like, I don't know. That's why I think I get frustrated with it, because if the whole thing was crap, then it's just crap, right? Like, but it's not. That's another motor assembly. So this will now come off. No, it won't. No, we've got to do more screws. I wonder how long it does take them to put this printer together. How long do we think? What would be reasonable? Got another video of reassembling it. Yeah, I'm just... I want to. Like every other printer, or everything else I disassemble, I actually want to put it back together because I want to use it. This, I only took it apart because I just wasn't using it. Like, it doesn't deliver, so I'm not going to use, or force using a machine that I can't get to do what I wanted to do. And that's the other one of these absolutely chungus, huge die cast ends. Like the cost to do these, set up the tooling, must be flipping huge. I don't get how you can make this level of commitment to hardware manufacture. And then the software is just shit. Like, how do you do it? Oh. How? How do you end up that far off? I do not know. I do not know. Ow. Yeah, I think it's not very moddable. That's the other thing that makes it kind of a bit difficult, right? Well, and the price. But like, if there was a foreseeable path that's fairly easy to like put normal clipper on, put normal control board in, do normal wiring, make normal printer, then it's kind of feasible. But they've done the weird thing with 2-zone heating on the bed, like literally not worth it at all. They got the weird own Hotend. The whole Hotend assembly has obviously got to be really tightly integrated because it's a Delta. That end effector is pretty critical in terms of output. So you do have to tightly integrate things. But then they've got like weird control boards with stuff like connected up with USB-Cs all over the place. Like most of it works. I just wish it all worked. And now I'm not sure I'll ever know. I think the hardware designers did a flipping good job though, to be honest. The hardware I can barely fault. I don't think. From memory of what I've done today, there are some issues, I guess, with like order of assembly and repairability. That could be improved for sure. Yeah, I guess there are problems with like the loudness of the fan, how it's mounted maybe could be improved. The airflow design, the heaters on this were a little bit janky and a little bit weird and probably not the right way to do it. Okay, so the hardware is a bit flawed as well. But apart from the hardware, software, firmware, implementation, marketing, apart from that, it's great. done a fantastic job. Yeah. With this level of cost input, you just want something that simply works. And it simply didn't. So now it's a pile of parts. I don't think they ever would. I don't think any companies hire people from community to create profiles. I think there's too much risk with sort of like endorsing a member of community with that level of trust to create profiles for them is too much risk. Also, putting that all on one person is too much. Providing them printers is too much. I think they can do it in like this. I don't know. All of these things are doable, and I guess it just came down to cost balance. Like, we have this amount of money to spend on this project. This much goes here, this much goes here, and this much goes here. And somebody decided that software is easy, so we don't need to spend any money on it. And the end result is all the money that you spend on hardware is kind of wasted because your project ends up a bit rubbish because the software doesn't really work. Which is kind of the most important part of a printer. You can make a really wobbly printer good by having good firmware, good slicer, good profiles. I mean, I don't want to look at the Mark III. Like, the Prussian Mark III only kind of just really gone out of fashion as the Mark IV and Mark IVS arrived. But for like years, that was a super reliable, and still is for people that are using it. Like, it's still good, it's still great, but it's not the most robust. It's not got a full cube enclosure. It's not got loads of bracing. Like, it's just designed well, and it's got the whole system that works together. And that's how you make a good printer, not just let's get really good hardware, boast about specs that aren't real. Yeah, I'm sure their goals are different, right? As long as they've sold 100 units or whatever it is they needed to sell. I don't know what they're... I just can't imagine. Maybe it's just my ignorance of manufacturing costs in China. But there's no way this was cheap. Like, it's absolutely huge. It's not 100% perfect. But I mean, holy balls, Batman. There's no way, well, I can't believe a way you can invest that much into a machine and not finish it properly. This is kind of interesting. It's sort of a two-part design that they seem to have fused together. Because there's, you can see, no you can't. Here. Aha. Yeah, you can kind of see these need more light in this direction. Nah, can't work. You can see this is where the thing comes in. Then there's split channels down the sides, but it's all kept within this one housing. And then you've got the two outlets at the bottom in the corners. So that's like quite tidy, and then it comes down around that other duct piece that we saw earlier, through the effector plate into those two holes there. Bish bash bosh. Down around the hot end. Pretty good. Not the best cooling design. It's pretty minimal. It's like directs it roughly to about the right place, but there's not much extra work gone into it, I don't think. Right. So we've done another hour tearing down the rest of the machine. If there's somebody in the UK that actually wants this as parts, let me know, because that will save me having to put it back together myself. If you want an ultimate challenge, you can have all the screws, of course. If not, I'll work on getting it back together, because now it's taking up even more space than it was before. So I want it out of here even more than I did before. I think this printer for me maybe would be like a disappointment printer of the year. It was generally interesting. I really wanted to get into it. Like, it was really exciting to have that kind of high grade machine that promised a lot. I was generally interested in it in the start, and then started using it, and it went down very quickly. Went downhill very quickly, I should say. You got to finish your stuff before you send it out. Same way you would finish your homework before you hand it in. Like, it's, I don't know. I say it's not difficult, and I bitch about it a lot. It is difficult. There just needs to be someone strong enough in the right position to say, no, we're not releasing it yet. It's not finished. Anywho, how do you like my new t-shirt? Cool, eh? Quite like it in red and white. I think it looks quite nice. It's really soft as well. Nice. Multi-heat pad setup isn't really a block. It's not. It's just pointless. Slicers don't really support it. I mean, the way I suppose you get around it is you just wire both of them together, and then it just sort of becomes one heater. I mean, converting it into furniture is actually a fairly interesting idea. It would be quite a cool looking piece of furniture, maybe. But I mean, this printer has closed loop steppers. It's like one of the first printers that has closed loop stepper motors. Nothing else like popular has them. It's like they had everything going for them. And then they lied in the marketing, made shitty software, rubbish profiles, and expected to do well. It just doesn't compute in my brain. Like, how would you expect it to go differently? I don't know. I don't have an XL. I don't have an XL or a Mark IV or a Mark IVs. So, I don't know. This is sending a lot of updates. I've just noticed, like, how many updates it seems to be sending. Apologies if you keep getting... Sorry, I don't mean updates, ads. It sounds like they're being sent a little bit too aggressively, but maybe if it's only part of a group at a time, I don't know. Boeing had planes, films and skies with rubbish firmware. That's their motto. The cameras were okay. The multicam sort of worked. The quality is just... I'm not blown away. Like, they do a lot of zoom. We can sort of have a look around the office. Got some bamboos, got some storage, got the Voron. Look what you have over there and there. I'm not sure. This one might get a better view. Yeah, the stream's sort of over now, isn't it? It's all a bit wonky because this camera's mounted at an angle. There you go. That's the printers. Those three are the printers that I normally use. The bamboos I use like most of the time at the moment. A1 camera, lights, and the Mark 3.5. And an enormous piece of granite. This is a piece of granite I got for free so that I could build printers on it, but it's so heavy I can't lift it. Well, I can, it's just way too much effort to be worthwhile. Anyway, now that we've had a look around the office, I think we're going to call it a day for the second time. Next on stream, I really still want to build a trident at some point. That's on the to-do list. I don't have a kit. I really need to build my positron because it's the only printer I've been excited about for a long time. And I even bought one and have still not built it. There's plenty of other things. There's so much stuff going on, but I don't want to overshare too much because it might be a while before you see things. I think that's going to be it for me today. So, yeah. Goodbye. Have a nice rest of your day. I hope you enjoyed watching this chaos unfold with these weird printers. Hopefully one day we'll get to tear down a printer that's good. In fact, we have. We did the A1 and the A1 Mini. They were both good. Yeah. Goodbye. Thank you and goodbye. Oh, don't check out vector3d.shop. If you don't have a cauliflower yet, you probably should have one. Cauliflower is the best thing. Anyway.